Coming up on Oily Trash Movies.
What kind of fish would you be?
I would be a man-fish.
When you were little, did you ever?
I'm glad you tried to make a point and then were completely and utterly wrong. But anyway, we're live. Hello, and welcome to Oily Trash Movies, the only podcast that has an official stalker. We're your hosts. I'm Daddy WarBux.
I can't believe we're calling out our first stalker out like that. I am so
Yeah, if you're
excited.
listening to this and you're stalking us, I mean, we did ask for this every single episode. We demanded people follow us in real life and in YouTube and to trail us on the interstate. So, hey, thank you for listening. Our 750,000 fans. I wish more people were so dedicated.
I know, right? I am so excited. We officially have our first official stalker. I can't wait for the next 20. I am so excited. And anyway, I'm going to do my intro. And I'm Bublegum Barbie.
And today we've got a great movie. Literally a great movie. This is a hugely successful 25 awards. Like, we were bragging about Manfish having 5 awards. This has 25 awards. It's called American Cherry, so it's probably going to be pretty good. But before we get into this, last week we watched Cabin Girl. And I think we both loved Cabin Girl. I think I liked it more. I think it was a perfect ghost story. And what I really loved about it was that you didn't need to suspend, you didn't have to have a tremendous suspension of disbelief because it was all in her head, but at the same time, it wasn't like Zombie Cats from Mars which, I did love that movie, but I always hate it when movies have an ending where everything was in their head or, they were just crazy. That feels like such a cop-out, feels like such a Deus Ex ending of a film or any sort of story. But with Cabin Girl, it wasn't just a excuse, she's crazy and she's imagining all of this. She was actually somebody who had been traumatized, and through having repressed her memories and experiencing guilt, she began to, have these hallucinations and sort of develop paranoias. And I thought that was a great way to sort of have a character or have a story where it does turn out to be in the character's head without it just being, without it feeling like lazy writing.
I did like it, but not as much. And I will mention the things that I did like about it. The gore was lacking, but it had really good gore when it had good gore. And it did introduce the ghost girl sooner than Unwelcome did. I guess I would say the confusion between the bridge girl who she was becoming obsessed with, as the audience looking at the movie, it would have been nice to have like closure between that, I guess. I liked the story overall. It was very influenced by that book story, that short book story that I read as a child, and it's almost to the T. I believe the only difference is that she wasn't a blogger.
The book that you read was well before the time that blogging existed, probably.
Correct. Right before internet existed, I believe. I read it as a child. I loved it. It was always my favorite. Yeah, it was a really good movie. That's all.
All right, I neither of us really have too much to add about it. You do, again, of course, remind me, mentioning the book, that I saw similarities with The Telltale Heart, being that it was the character's own guilt that had driven them mad. So, I recommend Cabin Girl maybe a little bit more wholeheartedly than Bubble, but I think we both recommend it. Would you agree?
I would agree. Yes, I would recommend it. I think it's a great, sitting in the couch with your glass of Chardonnay or wine or whiskey and having your popcorn, that good kind, and sitting down and enjoying it.
Absolutely.
It's a film that could be enjoyed. Yeah, it's a film that could be enjoyed by both family and couples and singles as well.
And what do you have for us this week on American Cherry?
Okay, so American Cherry is a 2021 film. It is 90 minutes, which is a perfect length film. And it's set in the middle of America, a small town, low-income suburbia. A troubled teen, Finn Elliott, falls for her former schoolmate, Eliza Stein. As he gets to know her and her family, he realizes things are not sunshine and happiness for Eliza, and he takes steps that, in mind, will fix her circumstances while she is attending a school dance.
Oh, what a romantic plot. We've all been there. We all grew up in small-town America trying to just win the heart of our high school sweetheart and take her to the dance.
A lot of awards again. 25 wins, and the wins have Best Drama, Annual Award, Best Feature Film, Best Narrative Feature, Jury Award. I don't know what that means. Oh, which is the Best Feature Film, Best Drama, and so forth and so on.
All right, well, shall we hop into this?
Let's go.
A little bit of Wes Anderson influence here.
My name is Finn Elliott.
Oh crap, yeah, this one's too good. Like, I'm getting already so into it.
Yeah, we're gonna say nothing the entire movie because we're just watching the film.
Welcome to Oily Trash Movies, where we see good films and we say absolutely nothing.
They're studying Kafka. A lot of Kafka's books had to do with, I believe, a character who struggled against authority, or sometimes conflict between a character and his father.
Excuse me, teacher about this.
Is she not the teacher? Why is she...
Snitch.
I know, right?
Everyone put the quizzes away.
She's like being too over aggressive and
the
like
quizzes away.
doesn't really know how to be a teacher.
Or I'm calling your parents.
Man, what a bit. Oh, look, it's the Metamorphosis they're reading. Oh man, this guy has some anger issues.
There's a lot of beautiful women in this.
I was gonna say that too, but they're all playing high
I
school
know,
kids.
they're teenage little kids. I know, right? I really debated saying that, but then I was like, no, beautiful is very different in comparison to sexy. If I said sexy, then that's good.
Man, a bunch of high school kids sitting around eating PB&Js. What could be more middle America? I don't care, Mom. I hate you.
Do girls go for us?
Oh my gosh, PB&J drinking iced tea.
I love the 90s. When does this take place? Do we have a period?
A period time? Let me check.
It's clearly not modern. God, that's such a beautiful shot. With them framed by the leaves, sitting on that ledge. And the redhead wearing the red, surrounded by green, and the pond scum is green.
Same clothes every day.
So yes, it doesn't say when it takes place, but it was filmed in Arkansas.
Arkansas. My favorite state.
How do you say it? How do you say that state?
Arkansas.
Arkansas!
This seems like a deep movie, Bubble. I feel so smug and superior that I've read both The Metamorphosis and Vonnegut, and I'm gonna get all of the references. I'm gonna sound smart on this episode.
Yeah, you are gonna be smug. Is this her stalker?
Everybody miss me.
So we can at least ascertain that this takes place during the 90s when people had camcorders. Yep. She was also watching that video on an old CRT monitor.
Oh yeah, it confirms it too with the dresses here.
Even like the interior decorating, it feels so spot on for 90s.
Stopping traffic.
Come on.
She's got a book in her hand. So I'm assuming the writers of this movie have just, I don't know. I'm not going anywhere with that thought. But books obviously seem to be a main theme in this film. Wait, no, look, that's a smartphone. It looks like she's using.
Come back when
Another cemetery shot.
Hell yeah.
David
And it's filmed at night, so it's actually appropriately spooky.
I don't really like graveyards.
He shows up with flowers and drags his high school sweetheart to a cemetery at night.
Has free mic.
What the hell? What are you doing? Are you shuffling plates?
No.
Oh, this is kind of making for a boring episode, Bumble. She dipped that fry, but there was no ketchup on it.
I hope you like cereal.
Cereal, the worst.
I had a really nice time.
You're gonna feed him just pure crystallized sugar and carbs first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
I would break up with a woman for offering that.
I know, right? It's like, come over for breakfast. Like, why would I go over for breakfast to eat cereal when I can eat cereal in my house?
First, but no, you shouldn't be eating cereal, Bubble. That shit will give you diabetes.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would I go out of my way to go walk to someone
That's like
else's house just to eat cereal?
she could be like, "Hey, you should come over for lunch tomorrow. I got a pack of smokes."
I have a pack of smokes with a side of PB&J.
Oh man, please at least give us some thumbnail material. It showed her stepping out of the shower, and then
How you feeling? Excellent. Ask her today.
all right, gas is $2.39 a gallon. Oh, this reminds me of when they were hanging out at the front of Candyland with like the peeling paint on the cinder block wall.
It does, yeah. It's very, very pretty.
It really captures that post-World War II manufacturing plant shutting down across America vibe, too.
Because he doesn't know how to deal with anything. Liza, come here. Let go of me! I hate this family!
Now, there's so much teen angst happening right now. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I find something comforting about dead things.
Oh my god. So this
Whether it's
character
animals,
feels like a complete ripoff of the kid from American Beauty with the
That's what I was
camcorder.
gonna say. Yes.
Weird.
We're gonna have a scene of him like
Filming
recording
a plastic
trash.
bag.
Yeah.
I like how the earth looks like a fishbowl. What kind of fish would you be?
I would be a manfish.
When you were little, did you ever have a chance?
What if she had said an ichthyoid?
Sometimes I feel 1,000 years old.
Okay, you're 16.
This actor looks like that YouTuber who went to Japan in the forest. What's his name?
Is it Jake Paul or Paul Logan? Like what?
Yeah. I think they're twins. I don't know the difference between those two, but yeah.
I mean, one's last name is Paul and the other one's last name is Logan, so they can't be twins.
Do you want
Oh.
Right? I don't know. I don't fucking watch YouTube. I'm too busy being a YouTuber to watch YouTube.
Oh, his name is Logan Paul.
Oh. So
Yeah,
Logan
he
Paul
reminds me
and
of
Jake
Logan
Paul,
Paul.
right? So I guess they are
Yes.
they do have the same last name then.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't stand people with two first names. Damn, Arkansas
Okay.
looking good.
It
How
does.
serene and peaceful.
This guy is Barbie. He thinks about death.
Oh my. I've also noticed that all these rooms have bookshelves that are just laden with books. Even though nobody seems like they're the kind of person who reads.
That's kind of... That sounds like bookism, War. You don't look like a person who reads. This scene looks like it was recorded by a 70s camera.
Yeah, I wonder if is it just because is she out of focus? Is that why it looks so weird?
Yeah.
Love Corinna
There's
after she betrayed
cameras.
you.
There's like so many different types of cameras, and I think they're either using an 80s older camera for this particular scene over the rest of it.
If there's any,
Oh yeah, it's getting really weird.
if you hadn't been
Yeah.
a child,
Maybe I just have a shitty version.
we wanted to.
Yeah, like the film grain is like at 1,000%.
No, it's purposely done because it was also blurred on the background. So I think it was edited that way. So her mom ended up having a miscarriage. And the husband thinks the reason for the miscarriage is due to her drinking.
And drug use if she was stealing pills. I'm assuming those are oxys. That's usually the drug of choice in this kind of situation.
Into the school. Feels like a ghost town all of a sudden. I'm stuck.
We couldn't afford any more extras. That's what happened to the school.
Where everyone's just dropping out.
I'm assuming this kid killed his parents.
Jeez, he's gonna break his hand like that.
I mean, yeah, that's cement. You would break your hand in one punch. And if you didn't, like, you'd have blood and skin just hanging from your knuckles.
I got you a ticket. That was a waste of $4.50. Come on.
It feels like such a 90s amount to charge, too. Like, who carries change
Kill my mom if she knew
in the
I was
modern
together with
times?
guys without her together.
See, like, I would agree with you, but then they really screwed up the scene with her on the bar, with mom being on the bar and using a smartphone.
Yeah, this...
Great.
Yeah, that scene, I feel, completely shattered the illusion that this place, like... So the movie then isn't taking place in the 90s, but everything is so right out of the 90s, it feels like. Or older, even. Oh, man, that's looks like such an unsafe way to be using that knife.
Look at his clean, unbruised, uncut
Hand,
knuckles.
yeah. Good eye. The parents are in that fridge. This feels like the kind of movie that a teenager would feel is really deep.
What's wrong?
Well, she's got cherries on her bra, and this movie is American Cherry.
No parents. Hmm.
Yeah, like, what teenage boy just lives in a house by himself? How is he paying for, property taxes?
It's like, oh shoot, I don't have anything to wear.
I have nothing to wear.
You called it. Ew, gross. Oily trash spaghetti?
Oh my gosh. That's the spaghetti. That's the spaghetti from the spaghetti party.
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
what if they just start having a spaghetti party and throwing it at each other?
Yeah, and we're gonna have to cut that because the movie's not out yet.
At school.
No one's gonna get it, yeah.
Dang it.
No, leave it in. And then, guys, this is a reference to our 750,000 weekly subscribers. This is a reference to an upcoming bonus episode.
Yes.
Aren't you intrigued? Better like and subscribe, and you'll get to see it. I like how they all have side dishes for their rolls, but there's no rolls. This is the shittiest dinner I've ever seen. Some cold-ass spaghetti.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
What? There's a roll out of nowhere.
Hey, where'd she get that roll from? Honey, you can't throw rolls at my daughter. Is this the end of the movie? It feels like that we've been watching this for 2 hours.
Right? Yeah. It's almost a dance, and it looks like that's when the end of the movie is.
Yeah, that'll be our climax. They're just at like a bus stop bench, and it's like, oh, are they just gonna leave town?
They are running away.
Yeah, they got on the bus.
I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
You can't just trail off at the end of the story. We always cut these stories. I always cut the stories anyway when I'm doing the editing. But we've said nothing all movie. We need some sort of content that's funny. What happened to your sister when she got home?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh my god. Why is he stalking drunk mom?
And look, it's Limpy looking at us, watching a movie.
In silence in the background.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is their dance. They couldn't even like rent a gym.
5, 6, 7,
No, this is pre-dance. They're pre-gaming.
Oh.
Your dancing is f***ing terrible. Fix it. You can't.
Her dancing is terrible.
Her dancing looked like a seizure patient.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to get near her.
Yeah.
Get headbutted, break your nose.
I know what's best for you.
That's what we want you guys to do. We want you guys to get your camcorder and follow us.
I want to see footage uploaded to YouTube of a shaky camcorder through my window blinds of me enjoying my house
Yeah.
Completely unaware.
Yeah. No iPhone, no camera pro, camcorder.
Probably gonna have to mute this song.
Yeah.
So is the boyfriend gonna kill the mom? And he's like, yeah, now we both have no parents.
Oh my gosh.
This party looks terrible, too.
Yeah, it does.
Bubble, this movie's terrible.
Yeah.
I think the more awards these movies get, the less we like them.
Yeah.
I haven't told you what I've done.
Killed my parents, I killed your mother. I killed that rabbit.
Killed this tree.
He's like, come here, and he walks to the other side of the stump.
Here it is. A murderer.
So I crushed up the girls. Does that make me a monster?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
She
does.
said
because
no.
he didn't
You murdered your parents in cold blood.
Yeah.
That's incredibly monstrous.
That is very monstrous.
All they did was try to medicate you because you kept trying to kill people as a child.
You killed that bunny, Finn.
You dug it out of its
It was
hole.
an accident.
It was an accident? No, it wasn't.
This is such cringe.
I am.
Well, this is like I'm taking this video as being his confession that he left for her. We'll find out.
So I made this for you.
He's gonna go jump off a cliff. I'm so excited. It's the end of the movie.
Yeah, this was not one of my favorites, Bubble. Although
wasn't
like it is
mine.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
This like these drone shots here are gorgeous. A lot of the cinematography was very competent.
Yeah.
The lighting.
It was really nice.
Fantastic. The
The
locations.
audio was good. The casting was good. He jumped off. It just didn't show nothing.
So her mom died and her boyfriend died on the same day. Okay, so...
Alright.
Alright, so the first thing I want to think of is... Alright, so everything I liked about this movie was at a technical level, such as what we had been describing earlier. All the shots are... like, right here, he's framed in this burnt-down barn. All the landscapes are beautiful. It's a gorgeous film, but it loses me in the writing. And I would say the structure of the story as a whole, because this is sort of like a troubled teen type movie. Alright, I think my problem with this movie is that it pretends to be way deeper than it is. And it dabbles in some depth. For instance, we had The Metamorphosis was the book they were studying at the beginning, which is, again, about a conflict between a man and his father, and also, really, the man and all of the authority in his life, and he essentially just quits life, and he transforms into a creature, and suddenly doesn't have to deal with anything again. I don't know. This movie's a mess.
I agree with you. The reason I picked this movie is because it's a romance and it's a thriller. And those are the two things that I like. And the concept was interesting. I agree with it being very visually beautiful. The crew was extraordinary, capable, amazing sound, lighting, costume, casting. It hit everything. But the things that I hated, I agree with you. I think it was trying to be deeper than it actually was. But I did appreciate the topics of it. Obviously, this movie is also focused on mental illness. Because with the description, one thing that it says here, it says, when Finn realizes that Liza's life isn't all happiness and sunshine, he takes the steps that in his mind will fix her circumstances while she's attending a school dance.
Yeah, so he kills her mom because he sees that the mom is an asshole and is completely useless.
Abusive, yeah. Like narcissistic, yeah. Completely narcissistic. And that is tough, having a narcissistic parent. And
his mother also seemed like the dad seemed like the dad liked him, but the mom. So you could see is like he saw his own mom in her mom, but I feel like the time frames don't work because he had just killed his mom like recently, and then killed her mom like the same week. Like I could see if he had like this past trauma with his own mother. In fact, I think that's how maybe you structure that, where he's this troubled kid growing up, and then maybe like at 12, he kills his mother, which I like that happens, and because you're a kid and because you have psychological issues, you don't necessarily always go to prison. You go to like a juvenile delinquent type, or like I don't know. But if that had been his past, and now he's back in high school to like he's 18, maybe he turned 18 but still was a senior in high school, so like he wasn't in the juvenile program anymore, and then you sort of introduce him that way, and you sort of have these breadcrumbs filling in about his troubled past, and then that explains why he does what he does in this movie. Because this feels like this movie, like the excuse is like, oh, he's just crazy, which is just what I was bitching about. And saying why I liked Cabin Girl wasn't that, oh, she's just crazy, she had like a trauma, and his character is that he's just crazy. Like even as a boy, he had to take pills. If he had some sort of trauma that made him act the way he was, that would be a way deeper motivation for his character.
See, I agree with you. And that's one thing that I'm realizing that I didn't like about this movie. Because if you're going to be this, if you want to be deeper, then show us him killing that bunny or like crushing the pills. Like, I understand that they were going in for the mystery. Like, oh, wait, where are the parents? They're fine. Trying to not show that he's killed him yet. I would have liked, I guess, I would say just really make it more creepy in a sense. It seemed very vanilla.
Okay, so here's what makes... So, he's the villain. And there's nothing more boring than a villain who is evil just for the sake of being evil.
Right.
Which, for a lot of times, it's because, oh, they're crazy. That he's evil because he's crazy. Now, he did have a reason to want to kill her mother, because her mother was an abusive, drunk asshole, but his parents seemed like his mom maybe not, but we didn't really get to see that much of his parents.
Yeah.
Other than his mom saying, stop dripping on the floor, like, that doesn't seem abusive, really. Like, maybe she was a bit indifferent to him, or a bit strict, which is fine, but I feel like this movie, from what we saw in this movie, he did not have any reason to kill his parents.
Well, they would lock him in the room. He was like the Grim Cuddy's child. So he would get locked in. So he had doors where it has like multiple locks all the time. And that seems like a reason too, but also not really. Seems very logical in a sense, because his parents are like, you're killing bunnies.
They were justified in locking him in because he was having violent outbursts.
Yes.
He was getting expelled from school.
Right. And if the movie showed that a little more, like it just showed when he was saying that I have violent outbursts, it was just him in the bath and hitting some tile and hitting concrete, which, by the way, really grind my gears that we see our main character punching the cement wall and then no bloody knuckles, nothing logical. This smartphone pissed me off. Like,
Smartphone was a horrible idea. He's got a smartphone too.
Like,
so why aren't the fucking kids playing on their phones all day? Like, none of this movie never could have happened. Like, what's great about some of those classic movies from the 90s, like, say, Stand By Me, where the kids go out, they go through the woods and they go on this big adventure to see the dead body, because that's all you had to do. Like, you didn't have a phone. Like, if they had phones in the 80s, those kids from Stand By Me would have just been sitting in their bedrooms all day. These kids would have been standing in their bedrooms, or sitting in their bedrooms all day. You just say this takes place in the 90s, and that's why they're, like, why are these, like, who the goes out to a cemetery in the year of our Lord 2021?
Right. Nobody. Well,
Nobody. No. Yeah, it's literally nobody.
no, goths do, but they have their
Oh.
smartphones. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah. They instead of sitting in their room playing on their
Yeah.
smartphone, they just sit in a cemetery playing on their smartphone.
Yes, exactly. Like, it was so annoying. That annoyed me. Like, what teen has a camcorder? You could just go get a GoPro or use your smartphone to record. It just
And even if he did have it, who would have the fucking VHS tape to play it at the end?
exactly with the TV, nobody. This is so it's very annoying, the fact that they had these smartphones, because it feels very 90s, and then they screw it up by having that, and then teens not having their phones. The school too, like all these teens, not one teen had a smartphone. So it's like, what? No, that's so unrealistic. A teen today, they're on their TikTok, and they would be recording that teacher throwing a fit with the
Yeah,
student.
everyone would have their phones out right now. Yeah, look, she's got a flat panel.
And this wasn't intimidating at all. Like, the music was like, yeah, you should be scared, but it wasn't. It didn't really show. Like, it was just so weird. The teens are just all sitting on their desks. I didn't like this movie.
This could have explored some great things, because this is very middle America, as they're saying, and this is something that happened in middle America in the 90s. Was all the factories shut down, so everybody got hooked on pills and booze because there was nothing else to do. And we had this rundown plumbing factory where they were hanging out by, but like none of this stuff ever came into play in the story. Everybody's reading books, but like it felt like none of that was explored. I don't know. I didn't care for this. They go on a bus trip and then come back in the same day and still make it to the school party.
I love the part where he's like, "Come with me," literally.
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's the scene right here. Right here. He like leads her away and then just sits down on the other side.
It's like, "Hey, I have something awesome to show you."
I also felt that none of the side characters, specifically her friends,
Yeah.
had any. They weren't developed enough. There was the one who was the bitch, but like whatever became of that. There was the one who was the slut and liked to drink. Nothing ever became of that. Why even have those characters?
Right. They're just trying to like feel it. Look, come with me. Here we go. I want to show you something cool. Look at this side.
He takes 3 shuffling steps. Alright, how do you fix this movie, Bubble?
How do I fix it? I would add more, because it feels very, very vanilla for it being. There's actual people who are insane, specifically people who are serial killers. If these writers were to just look at true crime, they would be inspired. And I hate that they didn't do that. And I agree with you, like the villain being bad just because it's not.
I just get angry. I don't know what to do. It just happens. Like, well, okay. You just get angry. One dimension, boring.
Boring. Like, it would be. Okay, I've solved it. The way you fix this movie is adding more backstory to our main character, which is Finn. Because essentially he is our lead and he's our bad guy, and he's the one who is trying to fix Liza, who is the supporting actress. That's the one thing that supporting character, supporting character. So that's the thing that I would do. I would add more background to it and the reason why he's the way he is. It just showed him slapping himself, hitting things. Like, that's anger problems, but a bunny would have been interesting. Like, him, the little boy, like maybe starting out with him being a little boy and he's out there like in the hole. Like, we see the boy, it's long shot, and he's in digging in that little bunny hole, and we just hear like rustling, rustling, rustling. He's doing
You hear
something,
the
and then the kid going,
shrieking of bunnies.
yes, and then he's like, just being a child, right? Like pushing, like trying to grab to it, and then saying, "Come here, come here," and then it shows him grabbing the bunny, and it's like, like bunny's crying, and then all of a sudden, right?
He
And then
snaps
dad
the bunny's neck.
snaps the bunny's neck. The dad comes over. It's like, "Hey son, what are you doing?" Like as he's coming over, walking, and we're here, the bunny screeching, and then all of a sudden, it's like, and then dad comes in, sees it, and it's like, "What have you done?" But no, we got that with Liza with the stupid butterfly. Like butterflies who are on the ground, they're already dead or dying. That's how butterflies die. They just fall off. They're flying and they just fall off and they're dead. So that was
Yeah, I thought
scary.
that scene was completely pointless. If we needed that scene for him, you're right.
Yeah.
Which I guess we did, where he's talking about the bunny, but
no, we needed that
all
scene.
right,
That should have opened with that.
I think so. This is like half horror, half romance, which admittedly are very two tough genres to wed. I think what you do is you have him in his modern day, like the 18-year-old Finn. You have him introduced as a completely normal character. You don't have it starting off with him freaking out. You have him. He's the new student. Hey kids, there's only 6 months left in the school year, but we've got a new student. He just transferred in, and there's a mystery behind him. But for all intents and purposes, he's normal. He's portrayed to the audience as normal. He's portrayed to the other students as normal, instead of having him immediately be a psychopath who gets expelled from school. And then as you progress sort of this, dramatic teen, and you could still have all the drama stuff, like with the love interest and her abusive alcoholic mother and her estranged stepsister. You can keep all that and sort of have that drama while she's also meets this boy that her mother didn't approve of him in the beginning, but there's really no reason for it. But then, like, okay, well, the reason he wasn't in school was because he was expelled from this other school, and he's been in, institutions from like 12 on, and then you sort of breadcrumb that stuff in, and then you realize at the climax, like, no, he is still crazy. This is who he's been all along, and then when he kills the mother, and then it reveals maybe he kills his parents, or maybe you reveal that he had killed his parents a while ago, at the same time that you reveal that he has killed her mother, and it's like a 1-2 punch. Maybe that would help the structure. I'm just spitballing here, though.
Right, and I agree with that. And okay, so now another thing that bugged me is we didn't really see his confession video. Like, oh, and then why doesn't he like being filmed? What's up with that?
Yeah, just a completely unexplained character trait.
Yep.
Just because they needed one scene where he kind of gets angry.
Yeah. I didn't like this. I didn't like this movie. Which is unfortunate. Guys, this movie is gotten so many awards. It's been nominated for so many things, and it sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to give this buckets of oil, specifically because it is so beautiful.
Right.
But I think I would put this maybe just above Unwelcome, which I think we gave like 2 or 3. I gave 2 or 3 buckets of oil to Unwelcome. I think this was better than that. I'm just gonna go 1 bucket of oil, just because none of the characters felt believable. This guy is his pseudo angst, where he pretends to be deep and he's like talking about grief, but why would he be experiencing grief? If he was like a kid and he's like regretting having killed his parents, he might have grief. But if he just killed his parents in cold blood during the runtime of this movie, that doesn't seem like the kind of person. One, you wouldn't be experiencing complicated grief at that point, and 2, this person's a cold-blooded killer who has some sort of dissociative issues. That doesn't seem like the kind of person who would be capable of experiencing grief.
Another thing that it bothered me is like the way this movie ended is our supporting character just screaming in the abandoned farm, and that's the way it ended. It would have been nice to have like maybe a cop who comes in and is like, "Hey, can we talk to you?" And that they're at the dance or something, and there's some suspicion going on with him. Something like this, like
Well,
the
what's
whole
the
reason
resolution?
raising the stakes of him having to do what he's doing. But then it makes sense because if he's depressed or he feels this way, why he would suicide himself. But why would he, sorry, I can't say that, why he would jump off the cliff? Why did he? Didn't he
Yeah,
love Liza?
that made no sense. Also,
he 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 killed his mother in order to improve her life, but why kill himself on the same day? Just, I don't know.
all right, here's what I think maybe could have helped that ending. So his goal was to improve her life, and I think this did happen because you can see all three of them are together here. If you had some sort of scene that showed the reconciliation of this family, and I think what you would do at this point is the closing scene should be them at that same dinner table having a spaghetti dinner, but because the mom's not there getting drunk and belligerent, and because the crazy boyfriend's there, you have it as a normal happy family dinner, and you can say, like, okay, this is are the main character's actions accomplish something, or show it that everyone becomes a wreck at the end and his actions accomplish nothing or accomplish the opposite of what he wanted. Because as it stands, I feel no sense of accomplishment in any direction. It just felt like nothing happened.
Exactly. So I did watch a movie that gave me the same feeling that this movie gave me. And it's also very, very popular. And it's also gotten, I believe, a lot of rewards. What is it called? I was like just talking about it. It's
Are we talking about American Beauty?
no. What's it called? Ah, shoot, I can't remember this Jewish man who has his wife cheating on him, and he's struggling through all that, and nothing, like, he's just having horrible luck. Life is just hitting him all the way through, just terrible, terrible, terrible. Nothing comes of it. So it ends just the way this movie ended. It doesn't give us any, like, what happened to all the story you told me. It just ended.
Well, great review. This movie reminded Bubble of another movie that she can't remember, but it was like this movie.
Oh, my rating. I also give this a 1 bucket of oil. It's really unfortunate. Overall, a lot of talent into this movie, but didn't really focus on its main character and give. I think that was the problem with the script, that it needed to focus on its main character and tell a story through that main character, whether it be character B, C, D, and the reason why he does what he does. Because that's what makes a really good movie. People don't really mean to be evil. There's a reason why they're doing it, which is what this movie tried to say, is that he tried to make Liza's life better by killing her mother. And was that accomplished? Who knows? We don't know. We weren't told. But there's a reason, and I think it would have been better for the directors, writers, to really focus on the main character. I hope that makes sense.
I'll try to. I think the writers just needed to decide what the story was they wanted to tell, because I don't feel like this told a story. You might call it a slice of life, but you do have actual major plot points that seem to happen. So, like, I kind of want a story to be told. I don't know, whatever. I'm done. We're at 2 hours. All I want to say is, in this scene here, just to tie this together to all of our movies, that sign in the background says, dinosaurs didn't drink, and now they're extinct. coincidence. So this movie is also about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like all of the movies we watch are. So take care, comb your hair.
And remember to mace directly in your stalker's face.
Bye.
Bye.